Hello people, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. Guys, I hope you are well. I have my neighbor's cat here with me today, so if you see him climb all over me, it's because my neighbor and myself refer to him as our cat. So he's quite cute actually, and yeah, he likes coming into my house to have a bit of a fuss and to claw his nails in my carpet and make himself sometimes over welcome in my house. Let's just say that. So here he is lying at my feet, just having a bit of a purr and having a bit of a bath. I mean, what a rude cat he is. No, he's actually quite nice. So that's all about Pumpkin now, and I want to talk to you about this self-harm business, okay? One that we don't necessarily think about when dealing with pain is, as you've seen on this playlist, this little sub-series that I've made, we talked about gambling, we talked about drugs, we talked about comfort eating, we've talked about alcohol, we've talked about pretty much everything that I know about. But here's one that we might not necessarily consider as a means to deal with pain. Now, I'll be fair and say that I'm one of these. When there's emotional pain that's experienced, the desire to go out and study or work way beyond what is deemed healthy is my vulnerability. So I can talk from experience, and I will tell you some experiences that I've had there. But this whole desire for self-improvement and developing your status in your place of work, moving up the ladder, so to speak, and being driven by achieving and setting incredibly high goals and standards is, from my experience, my personal experience, a means to cope with something that is lodged here and for sure lodged in the heart. I don't know about whether you know others, but let me tell you my experience. When I experienced incredible emotional pain, the very, very first thing that I did was to say, right, I need a promotion at work. And when a position came available, I applied and I got it. Taking on masses of responsibility. Nice pay rise? Absolutely. Did it improve our life? No. Because of a knock spending more money than what I could earn. So in that sense, it didn't do anything from our lifestyle perspective. But it soothed a lot of issues in my life. At least I felt like I was striding forward. The second thing that I did is I decided to scrap the operating system on my computer and learn a new one. And I still happen to use that one today. It was a challenge just to learn how things work differently. At the same time, I took on studies that I would, under normal circumstances, not take on. And some I finished, others I did not. I decided to take up a new sport. All this within a matter of months in trying to cope with emotional pain. And some of it worked incredibly well, albeit for a short period of time. It didn't quite work like I was hoping that it would work. Long story short, I qualified in 6 disciplines in a matter of 5 years, I believe it was. Just taking on absolutely everything I possibly could. Trying to occupy my mind with things for me rather than face the facts and deal with the issue. Albeit now when I look back, there was no ways on God's green earth that I could have dealt with the issue, but I could do something about the knock-on effects because of the issue. The issue, of course, being abused by a narcissist. So when you see people overwork, overstudy, take on too much, not getting enough sleep and rest and playtime, it might be that they are dealing with an issue that they are too scared to face. So when you see your friend or someone that you know have a particular work life, that work ethic is set at what it is, and then all of a sudden there's this spike. They come in early, they go home late, they don't take their designated breaks, constantly pacing up and down, talking to themselves, muttering, taking on way too much responsibility. Chances are they're trying to deal with something. In my case, when you see people take on education like it's a sweetie shop, chances are they're dealing with something underneath the surface that they might not want to talk about. It might just be. When you see someone change direction rapidly, chances are they're dealing with something that they're not prepared to talk about. Chances are. What you do there is you just come alongside them and offer them a helping hand from time to time. Inviting them to slow down a little bit. Saying that you will help them by taking on some of their responsibilities, if you are allowed to do so. My friend, overindulging with unrealistic goals and unrealistic standards and pressing forward, trying to achieve the unobtainable, is nothing but a plaster on a broken arm or a broken leg. It will not do the job right. You need to go and deal with these things appropriately. I'm not saying that it's not good to study. I'm not saying that it's not good to strive for higher standards. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is it's beyond reasonable. That is what I'm on about. If it's reasonable and it's appropriate, yes, go for it. Absolutely. But once you climb over that invincible line where it's going to drive you nuts because you're not having downtime, that's not a good thing. That's quite destructive. And what I want to do in this particular little sub-series is bring awareness to people's coping mechanisms. Because listen, let me tell you now, when you're in that much emotional pain, you can't think straight. In fact, I would go as far as to say you are struggling to think at all. So by doing the things that I'm on about in this particular video, seems natural, it seems the only thing to do, when in fact it's the worst thing to do sometimes. We need to help our friends think. And when they're in that much turmoil, especially if you know about it, then we need to slow these people down. They will reach burnout really quick, and then there's a bigger problem. So strive, absolutely, but make it realistic. Again, I hope that this has brought some kind of insight. And maybe you've thought about why certain people in your place of work or school, or maybe at the gym or your social circles, why they busybodies, if I can use that phrase. Chances are that they are in pain. And it is their medication to try and ease the pain. We just simply don't know. Because a lot of people who are in that much pain will not talk about it. Because that is at times impossible to do. Or it could just simply mean it's too painful to face. So one has to be very careful with how we go about supporting our friends and our family when dealing with these emotional pain. It's not easy, it's very tricky. Hence the advice, support them, be there. If they call on you, answer. Please do all the YouTube admin. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell all your family. And thank you for our new subscribers too. If you've got any suggestions of what you would like us to talk about, me and Lara have got a big long list. If you want to add to that list, feel free. Put them in the comments box, please, and we will deal with those things in due time. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.